All right, so we drove a private day a couple weeks ago. I'm finally getting to service the car now. One of the things that I learned, I got to hot lap so much. That's a really rare opportunity with the private day. I mean, I was doing like 7-8 laps just right in a row. Boom, 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 go, go, go. And the opportunity to hot lap it like that kind of exposed a couple things that I need to look at with the car. It really ran great, but my transmission oil got way too hot. I couldn't really tell because my shift knob's carbon fiber, but once I noticed that I could hear some whining going on, I felt the rod and it was, I mean, on fire. So it told me pretty much all I need to do is put in my better gear oil. When I put that transmission in, I just kind of put some whatever gear oil I could get. But now we're gonna put some good stuff in. Red line shockproof actually, and hopefully that takes care of it. We'll be doing another private day here soon where I'll be able to test it out. We can do rear end gear oil as far as servicing, and then I need to put a rear windshield in the car finally. We're actually gonna cut that out of polycarbonate. Lexan is like the brand name, but got a sheet of that, traced out my factory glass window onto the polycarbonate. So we'll trim it with some excess, get it fitted in. I got some Cleco fasteners, get it all kind of buttoned up. That's kind of the goal for tonight. We'll go from there, but yeah, get started, enjoy. Transmission fluid is drained, and funny thing, for a while I've known I had a fluid leak. It hasn't been bad. It's mostly when the car sits. I get a little, it's a 240, right? Like every other 240. But I thought it was the rear main seal of the motor, so I've been kind of thinking that's where it's coming from. I think it's actually the transmission front seal that's doing it, because that's all the fluid that came out of it. Mind you, I definitely put, what, 2.5 quarts in. It was a while ago, but I only have like 3 events on this thing maybe, because I haven't driven a whole lot in the last 1.5 years or so since I put the transmission in. So I actually am pretty sure that's what's going on. And then there was some like sludgy nastiness. There was a little bit of sludgy crap that came out right at first, but then it was pretty clean, which is the fluid that I put in. So I think that's just from whoever had it before me, you know, where I got it from. Let it go for a real long time and didn't change it out. So not too worried about that. No metal shavings in the fluid. I looked on a rag and everything, so it's pretty good shape. So we'll get the plug back in, the new red line shockproof fluid also in, and yeah, go from there. New fluid's in, shockproof is in. For me, it's way easier just to do it through the shifter like that. Also, the pump that we have does not fit those shockproof bottles to do it through the side anyway, but 2.5 quarts for the SR transmission, what it's spec'd out to be. That's what I put in. It's way more than was in it before. Also, the shockproof is a different color, so that'll help me confirm also if that's what's actually leaking, is that front seal on the transmission. So that'll be kind of helpful too on that end, because that'll really not be a big deal to fix when I pull that out next. So yeah, on to the next thing. I think let's change the rear diff fluid and then get on this polycarbonate rear windshield. I got my sheet of polycarbonate, and then on the other side you can kind of see where I already traced out the factory window using the factory glass. I kind of cleaned up the flange a little bit, got some of that glue, rubber off there. So now what I'll do is I'll rough cut the polycarbonate and then start doing the fitting process and Cleco it in. Slight change in plans. It's like 11 o'clock at night. Cutting that polycarbonate is gonna be a little too loud, so we're gonna do that another day. Probably later this week, so we'll see. So I'm wrapped up on kind of prep for the next private day in a couple weeks on my car. I mean, other than the window, but fluid in the rear end and the diff has changed. And it wasn't too bad, but still good I did it. And then transmissions changed, and then we fired it up and let the wheels turn. Transmission, you know, do its thing. Sounded great, ready to rock. So yeah, we'll get back when we do the polycarbonate and keep on going. Get ready for this next private day. We are back at John's house today, working on my 240, getting it ready for the private day coming up, which is now in a little over a week. And transmission fluids replaced. Figured out why my transmission got really hot. Rear diff fluids replaced, and now we are working on the rear window here, making it out of polycarbonate. So I used the original windshield to trace this line here and get a template. And then what I was, I came and I cut, you know, roughly about a ½ inch to an inch away from that as like a rough cut, so I can do a fit up. Just because the stuff's kind of expensive, you know, better to have it a little over, measure, make sure, and then just go slow. So that's what we're doing now. I'm about ready to do my first test fit, kind of see where it goes, where it fits, trim a little bit, and then we'll got my Cleco tools here. We'll Cleco it all in and go from there. So did the test fit, and it's pretty much on the money. Where I made the template mark. So I'm comfortable now. I'm gonna go ahead and cut just the outside of that line and trim off that little extra flange, and then do another fit up, and we should be pretty good. Start making holes. Did the main trim, saw that my template marks are pretty close, so I went ahead and cut along that. And then I'm using my awesome Cleco fastener kit that I've had for a while. So what I do is I pin it in the center, so I get my center line like locked down. And then what I'll do is, now that that's like held in place, I can come in here, kind of form it to fit, you know, where it's gonna go, and see where I need to trim. Then I'll come in here, actually I'll do it now, and start kind of marking off, you know, where I need to shave stuff off from. Are pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that, other than just kind of taking some sandpaper and orbital and just kind of cleaning it up and making it straight. So same thing here. A couple little spots to shave like up in here, but it's looking real close. So pop these bad boys off. Simple as that. And then in my little kit too, like a little tip for what I do anyway, I bought the kit of the drill bits that are the size for the Clecos. I keep it all in this bag. So when I want to use them, I just grab the bag, my Clecos, my tool, those bits are all there, and I keep them all together. So it's everything I need to do that. It makes it super simple. So I made those little trims that I kind of marked out, and there we go. Now we're sitting where I want it to. That's gonna be good. Might need to make a little trim right here, but we'll see. And then there we go. So now this is all sitting where I want it to also. Trick is to be patient. It's really hard to be patient with this stuff. Sometimes you just want to like go barreling in there and, you know, cut too much, and then, you know, you're out of money. You can always take away, you can't add. So it's best just little trims here and there. Test little trim. I mean, I've had this back and forth like 3 or 4 times. It's like the 4th time, so best to do it that way. So now what I'll do is I'm gonna mark out the hole pattern where I'm gonna put my fasteners. I'm gonna put rib nuts in here with screws. That's how it's gonna fasten permanently. But like I said, the Cleco holes will turn into those holes. So I'm gonna go ahead and mark out like 6-inch spaces or something like that all the way around. But also get in the corners and start drilling some holes. And what I'll do is I'll work my way out around from where I have the 2 Clecos there now. think when I said work my way around, what I meant was, so I'll get like the center and then hit the corners, and maybe like corners and center. So I get all my, you know, primary points, and then I start working in between, so I don't get like, problem is if you go all the way around, you know, just this one, this one, this one, this one, you'll end up with this like bunched up gap, like pinch point essentially, because the material, you know, is, I'm putting something flat on a curved surface. So by doing the corners, you kind of distribute where it wants to lift off over several spots, and it's way not as noticeable, way less noticeable that way. So that's what I meant when I said that, but I want to clarify. And yeah, so that's what I'm doing, corners and then work in between. So there you go, we start seeing it come together. So all the corners are in, and then, you know, the big center points, which kind of kept it all in place for me. And you can kind of see like wants to kind of lift off a little bit just naturally, because like I said, it's now curved. But as I come through now with each of these, and I'll go center, out, and here to distribute that so it doesn't all bunch up in one spot, and then that one spot looks, oh, ugly. So, but it's taken to it real nice. Also, I'm using an 1/8 inch polycarbonate, just so it would curve like that without me having to like heat it up or mold it or anything. And as long as you put in like a support strap or something like that, it should be fine. Especially for a rear window, it's definitely fine. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and finish the rest of these holes, get these other clecos in, which will mark out, like I said, my whole pattern for my rib nuts, which we're gonna do a different day. And then what I might do then is tape it off, because I'm gonna paint, you know, like a black flange, all, you know, maybe like a 1 inch all the way around, just so that it looks clean when I have it mounted. I'm also gonna get like a gasket or something, maybe like a door seal gasket, something thin, small, and I'm gonna it's got a one-sided tape on it, and I'm gonna run that around the perimeter too, so that once I screw this down, it actually creates a good seal. So yeah, because I'm like real over having smoke billowing into the car every time I drift and start producing smoke out of the tires. This nice like low pressure area like just sucks smoke in like crazy. So yeah, almost there, coming along nice. I'm pretty happy. We're done for today. All the clecos are in all the way around. It's sitting really, really nice. Really happy with it. I see all the clecos and stuff. It really takes the shape well. That 1/8 inch worked out perfect. So yeah, super happy. We'll come back another day, do the flange, and put in all the rib nuts. We are back working on the 240. Finally gonna finish up this rear window, hopefully tonight. It's the end of the weekend. Trying to get it done before next weekend when we have the private day. So just gonna drill the holes out for the screws. We're doing a couple. Put in a couple of the rib nuts as well, you can kind of see. So just doing kind of the main corners. I don't think I have enough rib nuts to do everything, so I'm just gonna do all the main parts first and then see how many I have left and then order them. But that's the plan, to get this done. Get a painted flange running around the edge and make it, you know, looking nice, and yeah, wrap this bad boy up. So it's time to paint the flange. I got everything screwed in on the back and like mocked up. All looks really good. I don't have enough riv nuts to finish all of them all the way around, but I have plenty at least to drive on Sunday, and I'll order the rest. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm just peeling up on the back side just a little bit. I'm gonna tape off the tape thickness all the way around. That's where I'll paint. Then I'll come in and tape up against that. That'll create the line, and tape it off, and then I'll paint my flange. So that's what we're up to. Starting to get dark, so it's done, it's painted. I'm just waiting for it to cure a little more since it'll be in direct contact with this. Once I mount it, then I'll put it on. But I think what we're actually gonna do is move the trailer up, get her back on the ground. We can go ahead and get loaded up for next weekend, and then I can throw the rear window on while it's in the trailer, not a big deal. Still tonight, and then that way actually, all I have to do next weekend is come, hitch up, and roll out. Should be real nice. So yeah. So loaded up. Last thing to do is just throw the window on. I think we're gonna wipe the car down a little bit too, but yeah, loaded up and ready to rock. Guess next thing we'll see seeing that car is in the video for the private day event, which should be a blast. I can't wait. See you then. Peace.